Hello, Michael.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, my
Wish
pleasure.
it was under better circumstances, obviously. Before we get talking to Michael, for everybody that is listening to Music on the Menu podcast number 19, I want to give him an introduction. We're talking to Michael Cloeren today. He is the venue manager at Penn's Peak in Jim Thorpe. He is the founder and the producer of the original Pocono Blues Festival. He has created or produced more than 80 festivals over the past 30 years throughout eastern Pennsylvania, ranging from northeast PA to the Lehigh Valley area and all the way down to Philadelphia. And he was the recipient of the Blues Foundation's KBA Award for Promoter of the Year, for which he received national recognition for his work in the field of promoting the blues and music. So a guy I've known for a long time, and it's a pleasure to have him on the phone this morning. Michael, good to talk to you.
Hey, it's a pleasure. It's great talking to you, Alan, and catching up.
Mike, I started doing these podcasts probably about 8 weeks ago at the start of the pandemic situation.
Yes.
And I've talked to musicians, producers, record label executives, venue managers, sound technicians, record store owners, music store owners, festival organizers, trying to get their take on all of this. But I always start all of the interviews or the conversations really with the same question. How are you doing? How's your family doing? How did everybody make out through all this, hanging in there? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Alan. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Still kind of sequestered at my house, which is right off of the Lehigh River in outside of Jim Thorpe, about 10 minutes from Penn's Peak. So kind of laying low and doing what we have to do, to stay healthy. And but yeah, thanks for asking. My girlfriend is working 3 days a week from my house, and then 2 days a week she goes in her office, and I'm with my 7-month-old bulldog, who's been great companion.
Oh, he's a baby still.
Still a baby. Otis, named after Otis Redding. He's a blue-eyed bulldog. Yeah.
Nice. Well, good luck with him too.
Thanks. Thank you.
Take us back to 10 weeks ago to the middle of March. You're the manager of a great music venue that does so many great shows every year, and a beautiful venue. And then all of a sudden, shows start. You got to kind of get a feel for what's going on, and you got to start postponing shows.
Yes.
And unlike a regular postponement, which I've said this to everybody on these podcasts, normally you have to postpone a show because someone's sick or the bus breaks down or something's going on. And you reschedule the show right away. You let people know, hey, we can't do it tonight, but we're going to do it 2 months from now. And you couldn't even do that. And so, take us back to someone working in your position and how you work through the initial stages of all this.
Correct. Well, what happened was our last show was actually March 7th. And as you well know, that week was kind of critical, March 7th through March 14th. That's when we started getting some vibes, some negative vibes. For me, it hit home when South by Southwest was canceled. Right around then, if you remember that, Alan.
Yes, I do.
And that is huge. I don't know if you've ever been to that particular music conference.
I have not, but I know that our mutual friend Will Beekman goes down every year, and I know people like yourself that are in your side of the business. It's a place that you got to be, or certainly like to be.
So when that canceled, because historically that's usually like the third. It's like a 10-day, so the end of March. So that really hit home because we're talking about 300,000 people. It's 5 days of film and 5 days of music. So there's 125 venues all around Austin, 6 hours a day for those 5 days. So literally 2,000 to 3,000 between bands and duos canceled. So to me, that kind of hit home. That was kind of like the first wave of thinking, you know what? this is serious stuff. And then, ironically, March 14th, our first concert that week was a sold-out Styx show.
Big show, yeah.
Big show, sold out. We probably could have sold it out twice, Friday and Saturday night. And then, of course, talking to my boss and I, talking to Styx, the management, the tour promoter, production manager, merchandise people. Then as Tuesday, Wednesday, March 8th, March 9th, March 10th went along, and then getting pressure, as you know how it goes, and then from our customers saying, I don't feel comfortable in the surroundings, it's an indoor venue, it's 1,600 people. So mutual agreement with the band and the venue, we had to cancel. And then, as you know, to the present, all heck broke loose. Right. And we had to literally cancel, postpone, reschedule what all we're doing. Great people like Will Beekman, the Kirby Center, all the venues that we know and love, from 200 capacities to what they do at Mohegan Sun Arena or PP&L Arena in Allentown, or bigger, as you well know. So, so here we are. I think this is my 76th day. Yes, it is, because tomorrow would be the 11th week. We had to shut down Penn's Peak at 5 p.m. on Monday, March 16th. That we got that Governor Wolf's email came out at 3 in the afternoon, and then we knew it was just a matter of time. My position as venue manager, we alerted our box office staff, our crew. We put the post on social media, our internet website. We'll be closed for further notice, like all the other venues have done. And then just go home, and our job is what great people like Will Beekman and my other colleagues we're doing the unthinkable, Alan. Postponing, rescheduling. Now we're rescheduling our reschedule dates.
Yeah, because initially there were some people that made up a show in, maybe a March show or April show. Let's try to do it in June or July, and had to do it again. How many shows in total did you have to move around?
Right, we're at close to 25.
Wow.
Close to 25, and then a few of them, like big ones, big REO Speedwagon, Old Crow Medicine Show, and big national tribute bands, as you well know, are so popular, with Get the Let Out, the Led Zeppelin tribute, and Dark Star Orchestra, the Grateful Dead tribute, which always sells out, Live Wire, the AC/DC tribute. So not just national acts, but strong national tribute bands that are either sold out or near sold out. So
yeah, they're all big shows. They're all people that bring in, big crowds. So
big crowds indoors, between 12 and 1,700 per show. And the other challenges we have as venue management is, like many good venues, Kirby Center, you have a lot of members. You have a lot of, like we have, I think we're at something like 1,000 members that pay anywhere between $75 a year to $1,000 a year, Alan. So now, think of it. We've been shut down now. Next week will be 3 months. So they're wondering, what about my membership money? What am I doing? So like every good venue, Penn's Peak will do the right thing. We'll probably just add a few months onto their membership because they haven't had a chance to come to the venues. But it's endless, as you well know.
That's a whole wrinkle that I hadn't even considered, and that no one else had brought up as I was talking about this situation with other people, or the people that made a financial commitment maybe for the whole year at some point.
Well,
they lost a big part of their year. Yeah.
You're right, and your corporate sponsors, Alan, that have been, and as you well know, it goes way beyond that. It looks like, I feel for all the businesses that are affected, it looks like sporting goods business, sports industry, and music industry might be the longest to get back on track as we go forward.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Now, you're the first person that I've interviewed since I started doing this, since we are in the yellow phase in some areas. We are here in Luzerne County. I believe you are as well there. Is that Carbon County?
Carbon County, correct.
Carbon County, yeah. So, you know, what does that really mean, though? I mean,
right.
I mean, for what you do, you know, really not
correct.
much, right?
Correct. Good question. We went yellow May 22nd, Friday, May 22nd, and Luzerne went yellow, this past Friday?
Yeah.
May 29th.
Yeah.
For Penn's Peak, hope.
I lost you there for a minute, Mike.
Oh.
I lost you there. You were starting to say about what it means to be yellow. Got a little static.
Okay. Yes. When to go yellow, the only thing it gives us, Alan, it gives us a little bit of hope. You know,
right.
As far as operating procedures, probably not much. And I'm thinking once we go green, there'll still be restrictions. I think maybe I'm hoping that Penn's Peak can start to do our very popular deck parties. We do 18 to 24 deck parties a year out on our beautiful deck there. But that might have restrictions, too, because we get upwards of 400 people at deck parties, Alan.
Well, I had two questions for you about moving forward, actually.
Yeah.
One, you said you've rescheduled some stuff you're trying to.
Yes.
I mean, I got a ticket. I was supposed to go see Sting down in Philly. I think it was May 1st or 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Tentatively rescheduled for November.
Mm-hmm.
And with no, you know, it just rescheduled. Like the show will go on as planned in the same room
Mm-hmm.
with the same seating arrangements and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Are you currently, that's what they're telling us at this time anyway, are you putting dates on the calendar for October, November now for some of these shows you had to postpone?
We are. We are. I'd say we've canceled everything in March, everything in April, everything in May, everything in June, everything in July. We have a few on the books in August, but we're basically looking, you're right, at the fall or 2021, the spring of 2021.
And my second part of that question is, you know, it was in the news of this about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. There was a venue in Missouri, I think it was. It looked like a Penn's Peak Kirby Center type venue, a theater type seating situation. And they tried to do a show, and it just looked so bizarre to me, Michael. I mean, they were going to do this concert, and they were going to have third capacity or so, and there was going to be 2 or 3 empty rows between everyone, and it wound up not happening. I think they were criticized because they were trying to do it so but it just seemed so strange. It just seemed like such a strange way to go and see a show. You know, I don't think anybody wants to go see shows like that. What are your thoughts on these strange configurations in venues where you might have to space everyone out a few rows, empty rows, and so forth?
I agree. You know, it's almost like let's go back to one of your favorite pastimes, baseball. If you're at Yankee Stadium, and they do the same thing. So, what's Yankee Stadium hold?
About 45,000.
There you go. So 45,000. So say if they're saying, okay, Yankee Stadium's capacity is going to be 20% of that. So it has to be 8 or 10,000 in a 40. So you got 80% no seats. So, and we're so adrenaline and live crowd and the excitement. It's just not the same. Just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to someone, if I'm an artist and I walk out onto the stage and I look out into like let's use the Kirby Center as an example, an 1,800 seat venue.
That's right.
And I see the first row is full, and then there's no one there till the 6th row, and then there's no one there till the 12th. I'm going to feel kind of deflated. If that was a normal show, I would feel like, wow, we didn't do too well here tonight. And, you know, it would kind of ruin the atmosphere. And now there's some people that are such purists that, hey, I don't care. I'll sit there by myself. I'm there just to watch the music. And that's certainly a part of it. That's why these webcasts and everything have been successful, because people just enjoy the music. But for the concert experience, I can't see that being the solution.
I can't. And let's
even from a financial standpoint.
let's go with the financial standpoint. That's a really good topic because it's fascinating. Say that concert in Missouri was Styx. Say Styx. And Styx has the opportunity to play for 25% of the house instead of 100,000.
Well, they're going to have to if they want. If this is going to work, everybody's going to have to come down. Yeah, right.
Good
they
point.
They can't expect the venue to pay the same amount of money that they would.
Correct. They're either going to have to come down, or maybe Styx is a bad example. Maybe Styx will say, you know what? We made good money over the years in royalties. We're going to sit out till at least a year until all this dust settles.
Mm-hmm.
So my point is, as you well know, bands that we know and love and we were born with, say the Rolling Stones, the Who, Kiss, Pink Floyd, they're going to be fine. They made their money in royalties. They made their money. They don't have to perform until 2021 or beyond. But
right.
The scores of other artists that we know and love, any genre, that they're going to have to then say, you know what, we got to work. We got to get our crew working. We'll play for whatever it is, 25% or 30% of what we usually do, just to keep everybody fresh, to keep people working, and to support our fans.
Yeah. It's just going to have to be, I guess those decisions will have to be made individually between artists, promoters, venues, as to who this might work for, who it won't, who wants to do it, how's the public going to feel? That's another question too. I mean, when,
right.
you saw some stuff last week out in the Midwest with, the people, as soon as they were given the green light a little bit, they just poured right back out there into normalcy. There's thousands of people at some public swimming pool somewhere or some resort or something.
You're right. You're right. Lake of the Ozarks, it was called, like a beach resort. And I can tell you, I know you went out with your kids last night. I went out with my girlfriend and my bulldog to Jim Thorpe. We went hiking at this cool little switchback trail by Mock Chunk Lake, and driving that cool little hip Broadway, it was packed. From side to side, everybody outdoors. Some had masks on, but not everybody. And but you're right. Now that one thing is in the month of March up in Pennsylvania. Now we're in the beautiful weather in May and July, and people are starting to get out there.
I've said the same thing, Michael, to some people. I said I think staying at home and all of that was a little easier for people to do in, March, early April. It's gray. It's 40 degrees outside. You're not missing anything. And now people are starting to get a little bit antsy. So, the green light, the yellow and stuff is, I guess, coming at a good time for all of us. But how that means returning to complete normalcy, such as a concert, and I know particularly for you, not so much for Penn's Peak, because that's an indoor venue and you have different concerns, but even the festivals, like, I know the last time I probably saw you personally was when we were both co-hosting down at Briggs Farm.
Oh, yeah.
And they're great people. Richard had to obviously cancel the event this year. Mm-hmm. And even though that's an outdoor event, you've got that kind of earthiness to it. When I did the podcast with Richard, he brought it up, like, the job Johnnies and stuff. And so, that's sort of part of the outdoor festival experience that in the middle of a pandemic brings a greater concern, even though it's outside. And so, the food being sold and all that stuff, and, he just couldn't do it. And so that, imagine if you were still doing something like a Pocono Blues Festival right now. How would you feel your clients would feel about that, your customers?
You're right. I think, these wonderful festivals that we know and love, I think they all did the right thing by, even though, say, some of the events are going to be in August or September, October. I think because of the buyer beware right now, that good people like Richard Briggs, festival promoters, have no option right now but to postpone and not reschedule to the fall. Let's figure out what's going to happen through the fall and winter, and hopefully in 2021, needless to say, all the Briggs customers return, and it'll be a great festival, July of 2021.
I'm pretty sure we'll be back there having a good time next July.
Yeah.
It's almost hard to imagine not. I don't know. You've answered some tough questions for me, Michael, about how you've handled this and what you've had to go through and how you foresee moving forward. So your shows, just to wrap that part of this up, your shows at Penn's Peak that are being rescheduled as of now are just, hey, the tickets that you bought, same seat, same plan, and we're all going to hope that by then, green totally means green.
Yes, and working with Ticketmaster, our partnership with Ticketmaster, I must say, the other thing is it really depends on the venue, but Penn's Peak and Ticketmaster have a great relationship, and if our customers were not happy with that, they can get a full refund too, Al.
Okay. So you're giving everybody the choice. You can come to the show; it's going to go on as planned, or you can not and get your money back. Well, you handled that.
Correct. It's hard, but we thought it's the right thing to do in the long run. And let's talk about our music, Alan. Like life, we're warriors. This music and us as Americans, it's not about a sprint; it's about a marathon. So we're in it for the long run, as you well know.
Yeah.
Music business is like any business; it's a tough business, and the strong will survive. And you know what? I hate to say it, the cream will rise to the top. There might be some venues, there might be some musicians that might not survive this as it goes on. But I really think as time goes on,
You still there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I lost you there for a minute. You were saying as time goes on, and then you dropped out. Must be those pretty Penn Peak mountains up there.
It is. It's, especially where I live. I tell people Jimmy Hoffa's my neighbor. But as time goes on, the strong will survive, Alan. And what I said was there might be some bands, musicians, and venues that might not survive this. And I hate to even think of that. But if we go on for more months financially, especially the smaller ones that don't have a lot of money backing them, but I think we're resilient as Americans. We're resilient as music fans, and I think as time goes on, I think the fans, the musicians, the media are going to grasp this, and it's going to be like therapy. This is exactly what we're going to need going forward because we live for live music.
I think you're right. I think it will be a big part of the healing eventually in bringing everybody back together. What have you done as a fan of music? We'll make the questions a little lighter now since we've navigated through the tough stuff. As a fan of music, for me personally, not being able to, my radio show has been off for 2 months because the casino closed, and that's where I do the show from.
Yes, sir.
But I've still been listening to all of the music that's been coming my way from the local artists. So when I do get back on the air, I've got a whole bunch of brand new stuff to play. But in addition to that, I've been watching a lot of documentaries about music, some great ones. I probably watched 10. I've watched 1 or 2 a week. What have you been doing, Michael, to get your music fix through all this? What have you been listening to? You've been watching anything? What have you been doing?
Good question. First, I'm doing my best to donate when I can to Facebook Live. Even if it's $10, $20, $30, it's gospel for these musicians. So I've been trying to do that. My girlfriend and I have been watching a lot of Thursday nights. One of my favorite rock bands right now is the Tedeschi Trucks Band. So that Nugs TV, I don't know if you had a chance to watch that.
No, I haven't.
NugsTV.com. It's through YouTube. YouTube. Go on that. It's a big thing where it's Weir Wednesdays, the Grateful Dead thing.
Oh, okay.
So last night my girlfriend and I watched the Led Zeppelin 2007 reunion.
Oh, the Celebration
concert.
Day. Yeah, I heard that they did that. I heard that. Yeah, they did a Facebook They did a chat with that where people were commenting throughout and so forth.
And that's available for 48 hours. It's still available for today and parts of tomorrow. I don't have to tell you, that Jimmy Page was a bad man. He was bad man. And I was with Jason Bonham on drums, of course.
Well, he was very disappointed that didn't lead to anything else, because I think I remember reading that they had rehearsed for a long time for that show. Yeah. And then they were hoping that Robert would say, well, let's take it out. And of course Robert didn't want to do that.
No.
No.
And Robert does what Robert does, and then of course Alison Krauss, his reunion with Alison Krauss, and a lot of his roots stuff. So so watching to try to support and my girlfriend and I have a real good passion for music as you do, and trying to keep it fresh that way, and enjoying the simpler things of life. We're lucky being in Northeast Pennsylvania, Alan, where we all live, that we have space. You can go with your kids to a park or a bike ride. For all our friends that live in, downtown New York City or downtown Philadelphia, we're kind of lucky with the mountain fresh air, and we have space here. So we're lucky to live where we live.
We are. I mean, I realize that as soon as the weather turns, you start getting out on the bike and into the parks, and you get out and have some fresh air and not be around too many people and nature. When we were trying to set up this, for those listening, when Michael and I were trying to set the time up yesterday, he was hiking in the Penn's Peak, Jim Thorpe area. He was like, well, good for you. Let's do this tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
Get out there and enjoy it. So, well, these are tough times. I mean, yesterday in this country, I put something on my social media about it. You have people protesting in the streets and a rocket launch going off, and it seemed like it was 1969, not 2020. And in the middle of all this, we have this pandemic, which actually got pushed to the back page for the first time in probably 3 months,
Correct.
today and yesterday, because of all these other things happening. So it's been good to talk to you about music and get your take on all this. I appreciate you taking some time. And
anytime.
I wish you all the best as you move forward, and hopefully we'll get down there to see you at one of those shows in the fall.
I can't wait. Thanks for all you do, Alan, and supporting the music for decades and decades, and I can't wait to see you in person.
All right. Thanks, Michael. You hang in there.
You too, pal. Bye-bye.
Bye.